So we made it from Lisbon to Porto.
And we're gonna just see what Porto has to offer.
Our first stop in Porto was the São Bento train station. It's right in the middle of the city, which is almost unheard of for a lot of European train stations, and it's probably the most beautiful train station in all of Europe. And that's because of all the incredibly detailed blue and white azulejo tiles that line the entire train station. It first opened in 1916 and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's an absolute must-see in Porto, whether you're arriving by train or not. We just couldn't get enough of the remarkable azulejo tiles, so we headed up to the Capela das Almas, or the Chapel of Souls, which is one of the best churches in all of Porto to see these. After the church, it was off to see one of the most famous spots in all of Lisbon, but not without passing through the local market first, Mercado Balhão. And now it was time for the famous Livraria Lello. We had bought tickets online for a specific time slot, and make sure you do because otherwise you're gonna get stuck waiting in line. While Livraria Lello is just a small bookstore, it's incredibly beautiful inside with its ornate woodwork and historic charm. After leaving Livraria Lello, we didn't have anything specific to do, but we spotted a church with some more azulejo tiles. It was Igreja do Carmo, and because of the tiles on the outside, we decided to head in.
We just came from Livraria Lello. It is super beautiful inside, but definitely packed with tourists. Probably every other minute you're like waiting so that someone can take a picture on the beautiful staircase there. But I think it's worth checking out. If you do want to go, buy a ticket in advance, and then your ticket also is good for a discount off of a book if you decide to buy anything.
Yeah, the tickets are only €5 and they're available online. You just pick the time slot you want and then you get that €5 back on any book purchase you make. So the one cool thing about it, what makes it so popular, aside from it just being a beautiful bookstore, is that J.K. Rowling apparently, when she was teaching English in Porto, she went there a lot and it gave her the inspiration to write Harry Potter. So I think that's why it's so popular. But overall, it is a beautiful bookstore. But like Becca said, buy the tickets online and be aware that it is full of tourists. Mm-hmm. And then right next to the bookstore, we went right over to Igreja do Carmo, which is a church. We saw the beautiful blue and white azulejo tiles outside of it. So we didn't know it was even right there, but we walked right over to it. It was $4.50 to enter per person, only cash. And it was really beautiful. It was actually kind of cool because you didn't just go in and see the main part of the church, but you went to all these different parts. There was like a hidden house, catacombs underneath, which was kind of creepy because there was actual dead bodies.
Yeah, it was.
And bones.
Yeah, that was really weird. And then we got to go up to the rooftop as well, which was a cool view of the city.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the most spectacular view in Porto, but it was cool to kind of climb up on the rooftop and see that.
And if you're traveling on a budget, the church that is right to the left of it is totally free.
At this point, we had some time to kill before getting to our port wine tour, so we decided to wander around Porto, see some of the spring flowers blooming, and, of course, the beautiful architecture. Porto is actually split in two by the Douro River, and to get to the port wine tours on the other side from the center, you have to cross the Dom Luís I Bridge. It offers spectacular views of the river as well as all of Porto. And a fun fact, it was the longest of its type in the world when it was first built. Plus, it was built by Gustave Eiffel, the same architect as the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Now it was finally time to try some of that famous Porto wine at Sandeman. After about a 30-minute tour, we were finally able to try the port wines. It was a little noisy and we couldn't film during the tour, but each one of them varied quite a bit and they were all delicious. Trying these port wines really reminded us of when we were in Cadiz, Spain, and tried some historic sherry wines at a bar there. Make sure to check out that video of Cadiz right up here.
So we just finished the port wine tour at Sandeman's.
It was really cool. It was 19 euros a piece, and I would say worth it, especially if you want to know a little bit about the history of port wine, as well as how it's made and everything like that. There are a bunch of different wineries down here to choose from. We chose Sandeman just because it was one available, and we booked a little bit late. But trying the different wines was really cool, especially with the explanations. It's something we really like, especially having worked at breweries and knowing a lot about different beer. So it's kind of cool to see that about port wine. Now, while we didn't go all the way into the Douro Valley, that's something we'd like to do another time when we're here in Porto. So unfortunately we won't be here, but I'm pretty sure based on the city we'll be back.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're really liking it here. It's beautiful. Even in February, the weather's been gorgeous and we're having a really good time.
So again, when you're here in Porto, make sure to come to the other side of the river to get to any one of these wineries. There are a bunch of different ones. Sandeman was great, but that doesn't necessarily mean another one wouldn't be just as great.
Yeah, we're gonna walk along the river now and see if maybe we want to try another one. Try a glass at another one.
Yeah. Whether you're interested in trying the port wines or not, you have to come to this side of the river when in Porto. The views of the city are incredible. You get to see these historic boats that used to carry the wine barrels from the Douro Valley into Porto. Plus, you get one of the best views of the sunset in all of Porto. And that place to see the sunset in Porto is Jardim do Moro. It's gonna be busy, so make sure to get there a little bit early and bring some snacks, have a picnic, and enjoy the spectacular sunset over the beautiful city of Porto. It's the perfect way to end day one here. Our morning of day 2 in Porto started out with seeing Igreja de Santo Idelfonso. We just saw it from the outside because you had to pay to get in, and we really just wanted to see the tiles. So next up, we're doing something we almost never do when traveling, and that's headed to a McDonald's. And that's because in Porto, they're supposed to have one of the most beautiful McDonald's in the whole world. So we couldn't stop at the most beautiful McDonald's in the world, allegedly, without getting something. So I got a beer, because why not, at a McDonald's, and small fries. It tastes the same as they do back home, but it definitely is a beautiful McDonald's. We're not sure about you, but when traveling, we're always suckers for views, and it's always worth it for us to pay just a little bit to get an amazing view of the city. So we headed to the Clerigos Tower. While you really pay for the view at the tower itself, you also got to see a tour of the church included in your price. While it was crowded and a little claustrophobic on the way up, we made it to the top and we were rewarded with some of the best views possible of all of Porto. When we were done with the tower, it was time to explore the historic streets of Porto, and eventually make our way down to the Douro River. But this time we were on the other side. It was so warm and beautiful in the sun, we decided to stop for a drink. Then it was time to climb back up from the river into the center to see the Porto Cathedral. We decided just to see it from the outside and not go in because we were a little bit churched out and we didn't really want to pay for it. After walking around all day, it was time to get a drink and relax in the warm Portuguese sun at base. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you're probably wondering, where's all the delicious food in Porto? Well, that's in another video, so hit subscribe and we'll see you over there.